Okay, we are learning Daf Yud Alpha with Bays today. I apologize, I can't be in person Wednesday night as well. I have a shear in Borough Park, Yom Hashem. But I hope to see you Tuesday night. Here we go. We're in the middle of a sugya of Mezuzah, believe it or not. We're learning about Hilchos Mezuzah, and we have Machlokes Reb Meir and we have Machlokes Reb Kahana and Reb Yehuda. If you have an area which is just used for storage, basically, is that going to be chayiv in mezuzah or not? Reb Yehuda is of the opinion that it is not. Reb Kahana holds that it is, unless you use that for other things that wouldn't be appropriate to have a mezuzah there, like if nashim were reichtzes in that area as well. Okay. Now the Gemara, we're going to start on the bottom of Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Last word of the line was L'Rav, 3 lines from the bottom. Here we go. Rav Yehuda Stama Divrei Kol Pater. Rav Yehuda wanted to explain that Stama, that means if you just have a Beis HaOtzer, a storage room, that you don't have any usage for it really besides for storing it, that's not a place where you live, so then it would Divrei Kol Pater. Everybody would agree that it's Pater all the Tanaim. And on that the Gemara challenges from a Brisa. Vatanya, Bisharecha, the Pasuk says, Uchsaptam al Mezuzah Beisacha Visharecha. Echad Shari Batim, whether that is a gate to your house, V'echad Shari Chatzeris, or a gate to your Chatzar, V'echad Shari Medinas, or a gate to your country, V'echad Shari Ariares, or a gate to your city. V'repes is a barn. Lulin is I think of the word where you keep, like where fowl hang out, a coop. Umatbein, where you store grain. V'itzus yayin, your wine storerooms. V'itzus shemen, and your oil storerooms. Chayavin b'mezuzah. They're chayavin mezuzah. So the Gemara is going to continue, but the rai is from here that this is stama, and we're being mechayavin and mezuzah. That's where the rai is going to come from. The brisa continues. Yochel shani marbe av beit shar uve'achsadrim apeset. Would have thought that you should include a base shar of an achsadra and a merpeset. That's taste of the second teretz. He reads this as a base shar of an achsadra and a merpeset. Now, an achsadra, base shar is a like a guard booth. An achsadra is I always think of it like a motel, and you have like your second story of the motel and the hallway, which is like an outdoor hallway in front of all the rooms. It's sort of what it is. Here, the achsadra has 3 walls and not a 4th wall. So it's not really ladira. And a merpeset is a porch. So you would think to include that these should be chayiv in a mezuzah. Talmud Lemer bayis. Ma, it says beisacha visharecha. Ma bayis miyuchad ladira. It's got to be a place where you live. So elif she'in miyuchad ladira. You don't live in these places. I would think you should include a Beis Akise is a bathroom, a Beis Porsaki is a tannery, Beis Merchatz is a bathhouse, Beis Tefila, a mikvah, Talmud Lemer, bayis, my bayis asula covered. It's a room which is made to for covered, to give honor. It's not smelly. It's a place of covet. Avkol asur l'kavet. So anything which is made for covet, yatso elu, which exclude these places, she'in asuyin l'kavet. They're not made for covet. They help us out, but they're not made for covet. The brisa continues. Yochel shani marba ap harabayis v'halishkas v'azaris. I would think to include harabayis. Where do you live on harabayis? Maybe means places on Harbayis or the gates to Harbayis, because people could live on Harbayis. V'halishkais v'azaris. Talmud Lemer bayis. Bayis shu choil. Af kol shu choil. To be chayiv in mezuzah, it's got to be makom choil. Now it's a shayla if it means a makom choil or a tashmish of choil. Okay. So elisha in kodesh. Okay. Now in any event, so that's the end of the brisa. The point of this brisa was to ask in the beginning, where you clearly see that we're talking about oitzus yain and oitzus shaman and a matve, and where Rabbi Yehuda says stum, everybody agrees that you're putter, and here the brisa says another Tana that holds that these would be chayiv. Okay, so that's tiyufta. You're going to have to say even according to Rabbi Yehuda that there is a machlekes tanaim. So it comes out that there's a machlekes tanaim whether these areas, places that are not asul, that are not made for dira, are they going to be chayiv in a mezuzah? Now, okay, Tosfos discusses the Beishar, and yeah, okay. Let's go weiter. Sagt the Gemara. Tani Reb Shmuel bar Yehuda kamei de Rava. Reb Shmuel bar Yehuda taught the following in front of Rava. Shisha sha'arim peturim min mezuzah. There's 6 gates that are pater from mezuzah. Okay. Shar Beis Hateven. That's again a store, a place where you store your grain. Beis Habakar, the place where your cattle hang out. Beis Ha'etzim, where you store wood. Beis Ha'oitzes, where you store your wine and oil. Shar Hamadai. Rashi says in the last wide line in Rashi on the top, Sha'isin Bekipa, Shekin Isin B'Madai, a gate, a doorway that has a dome, a rounded doorway, V'shar She'ina Makura, and a gate that does not have the roof, which means it doesn't have a mashkef. A mezuzah are the doorposts, and the lintel, the one that goes across the top, is called a mashkef. So if a gate doesn't have a mashkef, it doesn't have or here it says makur, it doesn't have a roof, it is not going to be chayiv in a mezuzah. The sharsha in a gavaya yud, if it's not 10 tefachim tall, it will not be chayiv in mezuzah. But 10 tefachim, which is not that high. So I have one doorway in my house which is actually pretty low, but once it's 10 tefachim, figure 30 inches, 30 to 40 inches, so then it gets a mezuzah. Okay. Amr lei. So now 1 second. So what do we have over here? We have 6 sha'arim. We had that are part of the mezuzah. Beis Hatavim, Beis Habakar, Beis Ha'etzah, Beis Ha'oitzes, Shar Hamadai, Shar She'ena Makura, and a Shar She'ena Gavaya Yud. Second Gemara, Amr lei. So Rava says to Reb Shmuel bar ben Yehuda, Pitachta b'shisha. You started with 6, Vislachta b'shiva, and you ended with 7. Makarapo. The emes is 6 that I mentioned, everybody agrees to. But there is one that I mentioned is actually machlekes tanaim, and that is the shar that has a rounded lintel. So that's machlekes tanaim. The Tana, we learned in a brisa. Kippah, you have a dome. Reb Meir mechayib b'mezuzah v'chachamim poitim, and chachamim exempt you. Now, that's not across the board. So let's learn this. V'shavin, they both agree. She'im yesh beragla, if you have beragla at the base of the doorposts, asara, if the base has 10 tvachim, and then it only rounds on top, so everybody agrees. Shechayeves b'mezuzah, that's mechayev b'mezuzah. Amar Abaye, de kule alma gavaya yud ve'im beragla gimel v'lav klum. Everybody agrees that if this thing is 10 tefachim high, but beragla on the base of the doorpost, it doesn't have 3 tefachim before the kippah. Now, the assumption here is that when it gets rounded, so then there's going to be once it starts to round, so the doorway gets narrower. A doorway must be at least 4 tefachim wide. Now, the Gemara says like this: Im yesh beraglas, Amar Abaye, dekuli alma gavaya yod ve'im beragla gimel v'lav klumi. Even if it's 10 tefachim high, but if it starts rounding under the 3 tefach mark, so then that is not going to be okay because it's going to be too narrow. Okay, so that the inami, another scenario where they will agree. The yesh beragla gimel, if by the 3 up till the 3 tefach mark, it is 4 tefachim wide. The ena gavaya yud, but it doesn't go 10 tefachim high. Malav klimi, that's also not going to be good. That won't work. Where is our machlekes between Reb Meir and the Chachamim? Ela begoyva yud v'yesh beragla gimel. If it is 10 tvachim high, and it has 3 tvachim of height before it starts to round, so your kippah is 7 tvachim, and the base is 3 tvachim. Okay, so it's 4 tvachim wide at the bottom, all the way up to the 3 tefach mark. It's 4 tvachim wide, and now it starts to circle and gets narrower, and it goes up. The top of the kippah is at 10 tvachim. Okay. So now we have a machlokes. Says the Gemara, it goes 10 tvachim high. It has 3 tvachim wide. That up 3 tvachim, it's 4 tvachim wide. But ve'ein b'rachav adalet doesn't go wider than that. It starts getting narrower after the 3 tefach mark. But yesh ba'lachuk lahashlima. There's room in the walls that if I wanted to make instead of having a dome on the top, I can make it straight up. There's room in the wall to do that. Okay. That's called lachuk. Lachuk means to engrave or to etch out or to lachuk. Yeah. So yesh lachuk lashlim larba. Now here we have a machlekes. Reb Meir savar choykik in lahashlim. We look at it as that since there is a room in the wall to be choykik, to engrave it out, to knock out, to chisel away the rest, to be mashlim the whole thing, that it could be 4 tvachim wide the whole time, that's good enough. Take a look at the Rashi. Reb Meir Savar. Hoyel v'hischil ba'gimel b'reichav dalid, since you started with 4 tvachim wide at the bottom, 3 tvachim, Sham Shein Pesach Alav. It has the halacha of a doorway. V'royin, and we look at it as if it's already been chiseled out, to make it equal to the way it is on the bottom. That is Reb Meir's opinion. Rabbanan Sari ein chikekan lahashlim. Rabbanan hold we don't say such a svara. Okay. Whether we say chikik and lahashlim. But everybody agrees it has to have a Shem Pesach. Once you have a Shem Pesach, now there's a machlokes. Do I say the svar of chayik and lahashlim or not? And that's machlokes Reb Meir and the Rabbanon elsewhere as well. Kishmak. Let's go further. Tan Rabbanon. Bayis Beis HaKnesses, Ubeis HaIsha, Ubeis HaShotin. 3 places: a shul, a room or a home that's miyuchad for women or for a woman. Ubeis HaShotin, or partners own a house or a room. Chayeves b'mezuzah. It is obligated in mezuzah. Okay, I mean, in fact, the Gemara, Pshita, why would you think these things shouldn't be chayev in mezuzah? Zak the Gemara, Ma'odetema, you would have thought to say, Beisacha, Uchsavta al-mezuzah Beisacha. It says Beisacha. V'loi Beisa, it's in the masculine. It says Beisacha, it doesn't say Beisa, and it says, so I would be Mamayit, a woman's room. Beisacha v'loi Batehem, it's singular, not plural. Kamash Malon, so it comes to teach us, that's why the Brisa tells us now that they're Takachayev. Why not? Maybe the pasuk mitaka means it. No, Amarcha. Look at the next pasuk. This is in the last parsha of in the parsha of Hayim Shemaya. It says Laman Yirbu Yemechem V'Meivenechem Al Dama. In order for you to have long life, Wahani Baichai. Only men need long lives. Women don't need a long life. Wahani Lai Baichai. Oh, So that ela beisach lamli. So why does it taka say beisach in the masculine singular? Kederava, damarava, derech biasacha, the way you come in. When a person starts to walk, whether he's lefty or righty, he starts with his right foot first, maybe only a righty, but we go with them. So, therefore, we learn a big halacha from here, that you put the mezuzah on the right side going in. Important halacha, derech bi asacha. Tell you what this is nagea, which I learned. Exit doors, for instance, that are only used as an exit and not an entrance. For sure, if there's no way to get in from the outside, they are putter from a mezuzah. You need to have derech bi asacha, the way you walk in on the right hand side. But that's an important halacha. If there's a way to get in from the outside, and you could use that entrance, so that's fine. But if it's only an exit and you can't get in from the outside, then it is putter from a mezuzah, derech bi ascha. It's the way you come in. Okay. Another brisa. Now this is a halacha, similar brisa that we just mentioned, but not talking about mezuzah. This brisa is talking about negayim. Tani idach. We learned another brisa. Beis hakneses, beis hashutun, beis haisha. Mitamin bin negayim. These rooms can also, or homes can become tummy with a negat tzara'at. Why not? Mother time you would have thought. The pasuk says, "Uba asher loy habayis." He will come into him. Coming to his house. Why does it say loy? Loy v'loy lo. Loy v'loy lohen. It's coming to teach you that's got to be his and not hers, his and not theirs. Kamash malon. That's what the Bryce has to tell you, that there is nagayim. Why so? Amakra. Because they have another pasuk that says, in the land of your inheritance. So that includes all homes. So in fact, the Gemara, so why write loy? Says the Gemara, me to teach you a lesson. Me shemiyachid beisei loy, a person who keeps his home to himself. Listen to this one. She'ena roitza lahashil kelev. He doesn't want to lend things to other people. He wants to keep it to himself. V'omer, when people come to borrow things, he says, she'en loy, I don't have. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mefarsemai. Kadosh Baruch Hu will let everybody know exactly what he has in his house. And kishemefana is beisai, he's going to have to clear out his house. The halacha is, before a kohen pronounces the house tamei, he says, clear out everything you have in the house, in order that I don't have to be metameh, so nothing will become tamei. But once you're clearing out everything out of the house, people are going to say, oh, 1 second, you told me you didn't have a rolling pin. So that's why loy is coming prat l'mashal kelev lacher. It's the exclusion of someone who does lend his stuff to other people. So that's a protection from tzara'at, from the nagayim happening. And from here we learn that tzara'at comes for people that are tzaras ayin, people that are stingy. Okay. Zak the Mar, what about beis hakneses? Mi mitam ben nagayim? Does a shul become tummy ben nagayim? V'otanya, we learned in a brisa. Yachol, you basically knesses about the midrashim mitam ben nagayim, and you might think that they shuls and but the midrashim do become tummy ben nagayim. Tam lemer ba'asher loy habayis. Mishum yuchad loy, the home that is miyuchad, that is designated unique to him. Yatsu elish in yuchad and loy, a beis hakneses, beis medrash is open to the public. So one offers 3 terutzim. Loy kasha. First teretz is haramei harabanan. We learned in a brayse the time beis hakneses yesh by beis dira lechazan hakneses chayiv mezuzah. A shul that has a room for the chazan to live or to do his to use. So then it's chayiv in mezuzah. V'she'im b'beis dira. If it doesn't have that, then Reb Meir is still mechayiv in it, and the Chachamim Paitrin. The Reb Meir is still mechayiv in a mezuzah in that scenario. There Chachamim Paitrin. So the same way Reb Meir would be mechayiv a mezuzah, so he would also tell you that it could become tamei b'nagayim. The Chachamim who pati for mezuzah would say it wouldn't be shaykh to the laws of nagayim either. First teretz. I could say they're both going according to the Rabbanan. V'loi kasha. Had is beis dira, had was beis dira. The Chachamim agree if there's a beis dira, then it's going to be chayiv in nagayim. So a beis hakneses that has a beis dira is shaykh to nagayim as well. Beis dira, a beis hakneses that has no beis dira, that has no a beis dira that has no a Beis HaKnesses that has no Beis Dira is not going to be shaykh to Nagayim either. And the third teretz is ha v'ha is Beis Dira. No, you might say ha v'ha the less Beis Dira. We're talking about a shul that does not have a Beis Dira. The krachim v'ha the kfarim. The shul of the Kurachim of the big cities were shaykh to everybody. Everybody used the shul. So if everybody uses the shul, so then it's not shaykh Nagayim. It's a real public shul. The shul that we say would be shaykh to Nagayim is that of village, of the kfarim of a village, because then we know exactly who that shul belongs to and who the members of that shul, and therefore it's considered private, and therefore it could be shaykh to Nagayim. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. It's Hashem.